So hi everybody and welcome to this week's video of RBX Excel videos. In this video we are going to take a look at error handling in Excel functions. We are going to take a look at the IFERROR and the ISERROR function. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see a lot more of my videos. So this video is all about error handling in Excel functions. Error handling is used to prevent Excel from showing error messages as a result of a function. And when using error handling, always make sure what errors to expect. And I'm coming back to that subject later in this video. There are two functions which I want to discuss in this video. That is the IFERROR function and the ISERROR function. There are two functions, both for error handling in Excel. And the IFERROR function is to display a value in a case your function results in an error. And the ISERROR function is to check whether your function results in an error or not. So it's given back true or false, it's a boolean. And that's the second function we are going to discuss. First, the IFERROR function. I can type a name, a first name, which is in the first column of this table. Like, for example, Eddie. And I can type a VLOOKUP to search for the last name. It's really simple, equal sign, VLOOKUP, opening bracket. I'm going to search for the name Eddie. And I'm going to search in this table. My second column has the result. And I want an exact match. Closing bracket. And the last name is Foden. I searched for the last name of Eddie. But what happens when I type a name which is not in the table? For example, Mark. I get an error, a not available error, because Mark is not in the first column of this table. How to prevent Excel from showing this message? It would be very nice if there was a message like not found or something like that. So we can nest our VLOOKUP function in an IFERROR function. I'm going to show you how. I have my VLOOKUP here. After the equal sign I'm going to type IFERROR, opening bracket. My value is the VLOOKUP. And after the VLOOKUP I'm going to the second argument, and that's the value IFERROR. So when there's an error, I want the text not found shown. Closing bracket, press enter, and now you see when I search for Mark, it's not in the table. So the result of the function is not found. So what is this function doing? This function is showing the result of the VLOOKUP when it's not returning in an error. When it is returning in an error, it will show not found. So I can show you when I type again Eddie, it just looks for the last name like it did in the beginning. So that's how you can use IFERROR for error handling. And I already said when using error handling, always make sure what errors to expect. And I'm going to show you why. It's very important. When I make a different mistake in my function, for example, I'm going to look in this table for Eddie. I mistyped and my range is not right. Press enter, Eddie is not found. So it looks like Eddie is not found in the table while Eddie is here in the table. So it says not found while Eddie can be found, but I made a different mistake in my function. So always make sure what errors to expect when using error handling. I'm gonna change my function back, and now it says Foden, the last name of Eddie. So that's the reason why you always need to make sure that you know what errors to expect and your function is right. The second function I want to discuss with you is the ISERROR function. And the ISERROR function returns in a true or false. It just checks if my function results in an error or not. So I have an attendance list here, and I want to type a first name, and I want to see if the person attends or not. So first I'm going to type Susan as a first name, and now I'm going to use the ISERROR in my function to check whether Susan is on the attendance list or not. So what I'm going to do is just type a VLOOKUP, and I'm going to look for Susan in this range, only one column. My result is in the first column, and I want an exact match. Now the result is Susan. It's not resulting in an error, So if I look for Susan in this column and it is found Susan did attend. So if the function is not resulting in an error, Susan attend. If the function is returning in an error, like not available, the person did not attend. So I need a true or false check for my VLOOKUP, and that's where I can use the ISERROR function. I'm gonna nest my VLOOKUP in an ISERROR, like we already did in an IFERROR in the last example. After the equal sign, I'm gonna type if, opening bracket, ISERROR, opening bracket, and my value is the VLOOKUP. I'm gonna type another closing bracket because I'm gonna close my ISERROR function. And now I'm going to check with the if function. My logical test is if the VLOOKUP results in an error or not. My next argument is the value if true. So you need to know the value if true is the value when my VLOOKUP returns in an error. So when it's returning in an error, I want the text not attend. My next argument is the value if false. So if the VLOOKUP is not resulting in an error. And then I want the text attend. I'm going to close my function, press enter, and you can see Susan did attend. When I type again mark, it's not found and it results in not attend. So that's where I can use the ISERROR to check whether my VLOOKUP results in an error or not, a true or false. So I can show a message when my VLOOKUP is resulting in an error, and I can show another message when it's not resulting in an error. And that's how the ISERROR function works. So that's it about error handling in functions. I hope you learned a lot about error handling in functions and that you can use your own error handling in your Excel file. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see a lot more of my videos and give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. See you next time.